You might have seen it before. A sommelier blind tastes a wine, identifies the grape variety, the region, and even the vintage. How do they do it? Well, it's a bit like mental Olympics training at the competitive level, but the method is easy to learn. So grab a glass of red wine. This 4-step method will change the way you taste wine forever. And I promise you there's no snobbery involved. Then we'll blind taste you on a wine at full speed, and if you've been paying attention, you're gonna nail it. I'm Madeline Paquette, and this is Wine Folly. We have award-winning books and online courses to help you find your way into wine, so check us out at winefolly.com. A red wine is just red, right? Absolutely, to the untrained eye. The secret to wine tasting is learning how to see those subtle details. Find a neutral space without competing smells like perfume or scented candles. Hold your glass by the stem over white paper and tilt. Look at the edge. We call this the meniscus. It's the wine's true color hue. Is it purple red, ruby red, or garnet red? Straw, yellow, and gold for white wines. Young Syrah and Malbec show a deep purple color, while Sangiovese has more of a distinctive brick red tone. Some wines like Pinot Noir are naturally see-through, whereas Cabernet Sauvignon is nearly opaque. As wines age, their color fades to brown. Now, give your glass a swirl. See those drips on the side of the glass? Wine professionals call them tears or wine legs. It's actually a physics phenomenon telling us a bit about the alcohol content. Thicker, slower moving legs mean higher alcohol, and they mean the grapes came from a warmer or sunnier climate. The beauty of wine tasting is that every glass builds on your experience. These visual clues are just the beginning of what your glass is trying to tell you. Wine smells like wine. Yes, definitely. To the unassuming nose. To get those subtle whiffs of blackberry and baking spice, find a wine glass with enough space above the wine to collect aromas. If the wine is closed, give it a swirl to open it up. Then put your nose over the opening and move in until you can smell individual smells. You'll get more fruit and meaty notes towards the bottom of the glass. More floral and herbal notes towards the top. Do your best to find 5 unique flavors before even taking a sip. Red wines like Garnacha and Pinot Noir tend to have red fruit notes, like raspberry and cranberry, whereas Syrah and Pinotage smell deeper and darker like blackberry and blueberry. Ask yourself a question. Is this underripe, ripe, or baked fruit? That tells you a bit about the climate and the vintage where the wine is from. But the real challenge is finding those flavors other than fruit. Floral notes like violet and rose. Herbs like oregano and mint. Spices like cinnamon or black pepper. And earthiness like crushed gravel or mushroom. These other aromas define a wine, where it's from and how it's made. For example, if you smell vanilla and baking spices in a red wine, it probably aged in new oak barrels. Wine just tastes like alcohol, right? Yes, it does. Oh, but there's so much more going on. Take a good-sized sip. It's about a teaspoon or so, and swish it around your palate. Pros spit. Take a slow breath in through your mouth and let it out through your nose. You've just smelled the wine through the back of your palate. It's called retronasal olfaction. And this is a great test of quality that no wine can hide from. Now, we're looking at the wine's basic traits. Its acidity, tannin, alcohol, and sweetness. And finally, we can start to gauge the quality level based on the wine's overall balance, taste profile, and finish. Trait 1, sweetness. Is it dry, off-dry, or a bit sweet? Sadly, our humans' palates are a bit daft at tasting sweetness, so if a wine smells sweet but has no residual grape sugar, we often think it's sweet. You'll get better at this with some practice. Trait 2, acidity. Is your mouth watering now that you've taken a sip? That's great. Wine is acidic. Wines range between the pH of about lemonade to about Greek yogurt. Your mouth should start watering right away, and it's a clue to the level of acidity in the wine. Trait 3, and this is mostly for red wines, tannin. Take a sip, Put the tongue to the roof of your mouth and feel the texture. Is it a bit grippy? It should feel kind of like sandpaper, but is it a fine grit finishing sandpaper or so intense that your lips stick to the inside of your teeth? That's high tannin. Trait 4, alcohol. Some of us taste alcohol like sweet spice, and some of us like bitter spice. Either way, you're gonna feel it as heat right in the back of your throat. And the bigger the burn, the higher the alcohol level. If you look at the wine tears and pair that with the burning sensation in the back of your throat, you can actually get really good at guessing accurately the alcohol level in your glass of wine. Now that we've done the hard part of assessing the wine, here are some markers of quality to keep in mind. Is the wine in balance? Does the tannin and acidity and alcohol balance each other? And does it stay in balance from the moment you taste it into the finish? What's the taste profile like? Each variety has a different one. For example, Nebbiolo grows on your palate, and Syrah pops and softens quickly. How's the finish? How long is it? And what flavors remain on your palate? Bitterness and herbal notes are okay, but notes of wet hay, gerbil cage, or really sharp acids are not a good sign. Okay, it's time to practice at full speed. And if you are paying attention, you should be able to guess the grape variety. All right, first thing, look. This wine is a deep purple color, suggesting a variety with thicker skins with high anthocyanin content, perhaps with slightly lower acid because of that bluish tint. I only see this color on young wines or on wines with grape coloring additives, and I know this producer does not use any additives. The tears on this wine suggest we've got medium levels of alcohol. They're moving relatively quick, but we have so much anthocyanin content, I know this comes from a sunny place. On the nose, I get fresh blackberry, bright black olive, black plum, violet, a little black pepper. There's not a lot of earthiness here, and I also don't get vanilla or baking spices, which means no new oak aging. On the taste, a burst of flavor softens to a smooth finish. The acids are in the middle, a little higher, which tracks with that color. The tannins are medium, and they're kind of like a fine grit sandpaper. Overall, the wine is complex, it's in balance with one another, and it tastes actually pretty darn good. Can you name the grape? And for the big reveal, this is Martha Steuman's Syrah from 2021 vintage out of Dry Creek Valley in Sonoma, California. Wow, that was fun. Wine is an adventure in taste and flavor, and learning how to taste unlocks an entire world of self-discovery. If you use this method each time you taste a new wine, you will have a sophisticated palate very quickly. And if you'd like some assistance, I've designed a tasting journal and several other great tools to help you improve. But what wine should you try next? This next video will introduce you to some grape varieties that absolutely deserve a spot in your tasting repertoire. And if you like what we're doing, let us know. Follow Wine Folly to learn more about wine. Until next time, happy tasting, peace out. Now I can drink.